Did Birdie make Nikki do it? And is Fearless Brie back? We'll find that all on season 3, episode 3 of Total Bellas.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All the single ladies, 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 all the single ladies. Now put your hands up in the club, just broke up.
It's Beyonce. I mean,
Oh boy. All right, welcome to.
I don't know who the single one is.
I know. Oh boy.
me.
Ooh. Shady Anissa. All right, welcome to Total Bellas. My name is TK Trinidad, and sadly, we'll start off this first. Roger, just Raj, will no longer be with us. Does anybody remember what's his social media handle again?
Roger Corral, I think _
No, wasn't it Beefcake something?
No, you can find him at Beef Supreme.
Oh yeah, so hit Roger on Beef Supreme and ask him why he's no longer on the show. So everybody who follows all of us, hit Roger up and just harass him and ask him maybe because he wants to have babies. He realized that having babies at 50 is probably not the thing you want to do. Anywho,
Her and this baby thing.
I'm just, this is what I like to do. Anywho, I am not alone. I have special co-hosts, Stylist to the Stars.
Hey everybody, it's Monique Loveless here. I'm super excited to talk about our singleness off. Me and the new Nikki.
And we have the Wrestling Encyclopedia, the hostess to the mostest, social media guru, Anissa Barr.
Yes, and how do you say it? Self-proclaimed Dean Ambrose's baby sister.
I really thought you were going to say baby mama. I was like, what?
No.
I was like,
That's gross.
So I was like, wait, what's happening right
No,
now?
I'm not that type of fangirl.
Ooh. Okay, Anissa with the shade.
Shade today. We didn't even need Roger.
I know, right? How did you guys like the episode overall?
It felt so real I felt like it was so legit when her mom started crying.
Yeah, I feel like this episode explains everything that's going on right now for the both of them. So to me, it explained it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. We actually had Rosa Mendez on Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, so we asked her about it, and that's essentially what I told her too. Like I think we were all on the same page where it's just like, well, the breakup. They announced the breakup right before the show, and this is more of a PR thing than anything else. If they had told us that Nikki and John broke up in January, February, then it would have been like, okay, now we understand. And now, because we all like to watch fires burn, we would have watched the show to see how they got to that.
That's what I was thinking about that last week, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, now it makes sense because how they put it when they put it out. It's like, oh, they broke up right before the show, or 2 weeks before the show.
Right.
Now you have pictures of them in San Diego together and all this other stuff. Also, too, we were supposed to have JJ and Lola on. Lola's not feeling. She's under the weather, so shout out to Lola. Hope you feel better. She's gonna be traveling tomorrow, and hopefully next week we'll have them on the show. So kudos. JJ has to take care of his woman, so we totally get that.
Hold it down.
So, in this episode, Nikki and John, they decide to call off the wedding. Essentially, Birdie, Nikki, what she said in the show is that she had counseling and she talked about the whole, not having a baby thing, and she thought she was over it. And then Birdie came along, and Birdie is hella cute, and she's like, I want mini Birdie. And
Birdie is not only hella cute, she's hella unbothered by stuff too. So she just be sitting there,
just doing her thing,
chilling.
She looks exactly like Daniel Bryan.
She does. And Nikki said it. If you were a terrible kid, it would probably help out a little bit with those feelings. But since she's not like one of those, it makes it hard.
Yeah.
She's not 2 yet, the terrible 2s, so...
Terrible 2s are terrible 2s, but they're not as bad as if you just have a crying baby.
Yeah, if you have a terrible child and terrible 2s, then it'd be terrible.
Yes.
But you have a terrible 2, if you realize that they're going through this process, then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. It's just like somebody going through the teenage process and they're kind of angry, but they're not cussing you off and you slam the door and running away every week. You have ones like, oh, I don't like you at this moment, Mom. And it's like, okay, I can take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like she's just a really good baby.
Right. The terrible 2s are like they're bad at that moment.
Yeah.
But screaming, like crying all the time, baby.
Yeah. No bueno. So what I did realize, so we did, see some tears. What I did realize, and I think we all knew this, that John really loves Nikki.
Yes.
But the depth of his love, because we see, up to this point, we just see, it just seems like we don't see John, if that makes sense. And now we're seeing the emotional side of him. It's like, oh, like, to cry on, I'm sure they didn't make it like, put onions under his eyes or anything, to cry in front of a camera that's there as they're having this discussion. That's raw.
What do you mean we don't see John?
I mean, we just see
we finally see the
softer side.
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't see the
more emotional side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't see,
because I feel like we
John
see
Cena.
him, and then like we had talked about before, I feel like we see the real John, and then there's this
The
John
character.
that's trying
Yeah.
to put on.
There's a character.
And
his character.
and he did. He had an emotional moment, but I was not surprised by that because he does love Nikki, and I feel like he actually got over a hump, and like she said, he was announcing his love, telling them that he even got emotional over like the watching the playback of them getting engaged
Right.
and everything. So I'm not shocked by it. I think it's time. I think it also makes him a little more relatable too.
Well, that's the thing. We haven't seen, when I think of John Cena, stuff that we've seen on Total Bellas and just other stuff, it's like you see the very well put together John Cena. When you see him do stuff with, kids events and all this, he's very well put together, as he should be. But then you don't see like the messy side of it, which, if you're on reality TV, that's how we connect with folks.
Right.
So, it's like we've seen him through Bellas, and, the first season we saw, they had the rules and all this other stuff, and, he's very distant. It's about
Stern.
business and all this other stuff. And now we're seeing like, I told you this was going to happen. Instead of going with my gut feeling, which obviously you shouldn't if you're doing it for love.
Right.
We got back together, and, I thought we were at this place, and now you are literally stomping on my heart, because I warned myself of this, and I decided to go against my, mind and went with my heart, and now you're just pissing all over it.
I think the best that part I didn't really care about because he still kept it together. He did a little tear. I couldn't really
A little
tell
tear is a lot, though.
I couldn't really tell that he was crying, but there was something
You
there.
saw
clearly.
his face.
I mean, it was red clearly, but we're gonna skip over all that.
I think it's because he probably didn't expect Nikki to break up with him. That's probably was like, whoa.
Well, he felt it coming. I think he felt something coming. But the part that got me the most is when he told the cameras to get away, and he kind of started like the groveling
Right
there.
I didn't.
That's what got me. I
You
was
didn't see
like,
that?
okay.
No.
At the end.
Girl, I watched on Hulu. They edited it.
No, it's on Hulu.
Really?
It's when they were at the live show.
Yeah.
They're at the show, and then she
that's
hugs him, and then the cameras go down, and they're talking. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought we were still talking about the part
Yeah, I
when they're
thought
in
so
the
too,
bed.
and then she said that, and then it's like, it makes
okay.
sense, yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay.
So that I felt was a little more like a little more out of the John Cena character.
Yeah.
Now that was for me.
No, I believe that because it's rare when that you see, or I've never seen John Cena say, "Hey, get the cameras off me."
Right.
Or get the
So-
cameras off me, and then start to say, "I miss you. I want you back. I want to text
Knowing
you. I want
the
to call
fact
you.
that
Why don't
she
you?"
has a mic on her.
Yeah, and he's like, kind of groveling.
Yeah.
Well, probably he didn't think, if he told the cameras to get away, he probably didn't think, like, he probably knew the mic was on her, but he probably didn't think that they would put that in the thing. But now that they're back together, he probably gave the okay to put that there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that was out of his character to me. I
agree.
guess we're going to get to that part, but that was out of his character to me. The cry, I still feel like it was John Cena. It was just a more like a cry for John Cena, but it was still like he was well put together. He went and talked to mom, and then he left and called it. Like, that's what he does. He's very
but
like...
him and Mama Bella were crying too.
Yeah.
Well, when she came in crying, I was like, "Oh wow,
This is
Now
legit.
that's when
Yeah.
my heart was
It's
like,
real.
okay,
Yeah, that's when my heart, when Mama Bella was crying, I was like, oh, this is, because, you remember at one point, it might have been in Total Divas, where they're telling her to break up with him, and that he's not, he doesn't want the stuff you want, and them as a family unit were telling her. So obviously, of course they care about people, they care about John, but I think now that the fact that they've been together even longer, and then he, went through the marriage thing and all, or he proposed to her, now it's like, that piece where they were kind of hesitant was gone, and now it's like, you know, they're expecting the celebration, but now like it's just not gonna happen. So
yeah.
kudos. I want to get her on the show too. So JJ,
Right,
JJ, let's make that happen too.
Yeah, make that happen. She definitely, when she got emotional and she came in the room, I was like, oh wow, like this, because she was like, he's even like a son-in-law, like he's like a son to me.
Yeah.
Like they've opened up and realized how much he really loves Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was, I was like, oh.
Yeah, then that's the whole thing too. We talk about Nicole's support system, essentially, you know, her mom being there for her, but also her sister, given the fact that, you know, everything's kind of going crazy with Brie. So how did you feel? Do you think Brie should have been there more? Or do you think that was just enough, given the fact that she has a husband and a child and a lot of things goes on?
That's enough.
And
Yeah.
She said that's
No,
enough.
well, because I mean, they broke up in Napa, where it's supposed to be just her and John trying to find a venue, and of course she brought her mom because Nikki is very close with her mom, so that all makes sense. And maybe Brie was doing something else at the time. So same thing with JJ; they didn't bring him along either.
Right. I think Brie is really stepping up to the plate because she's buying the house and really putting her sister in the forefront. Like, oh, I really need her to be, you know, I really need to be here for her at this moment. So we have to put all of this in thought. Like, she's even thinking about where she's moving for her sister. And I'm like, Nikki has, like, they have such a great support system with one another. Like, I'm jealous.
it's funny though, because I'm wondering, like, as Bree's looking for the house, right? She's like, oh, well, I need a place for, like, Nikki. And I'm just like, do you think you're literally going to get, like, a house and just put Nikki in a room, like, to visit? Yeah, but to, like, stay?
Well, they found the one with the in-law suite. Yeah. Well, the in-law suite, I think that one may work because she has her separate.
You remember John and Nikki's house compared to Brie?
I know, but she knows she's only gonna be on a hiatus from John. She knows it's one of the things where she has to be like, I have to break up. I have to break up to make these decisions for myself, and I feel like he'll come around. I think she knows now. Do you
think subconsciously that's what she thought when they broke up?
Yes, because she said, you didn't call me or text me, and it's been a day.
Yeah, but that's because there was what event was it? There was like an event. Yeah, there was an event that was happening. Yeah. So she expected that text because, like, good luck on whatever. Good luck on that.
Well, she left during his performance, so how can you be a hypocrite like that?
Well, I mean, she is emotional, so let's give her that. But I think if she didn't have, I think if she didn't have Raw 25 and other things going on, like meaning like they're just carrying on with the business and it's just a usual day, I don't think she would have harped as much, because I believe Raw 25 is when she came back. Like, she hadn't been wrestling for a while, so.
Well, she didn't wrestle at Raw 25. She just wore her wrestling gear.
But she like kind of came back to the masses. So I guess she expected some type of good luck or have fun or whatever. Yeah. Versus, you know, it's just another day they're working on the business. Yeah. So I think that's the issue. And I think when I'm like that too. If I have an event that we spoke about and you know it's happening, and like even if we are not on good terms, like you don't have
I don't. If we're not on good terms, we are not on good terms.
See, like, I'm not like that.
There is no, I don't need a, hey, what you doing, good
only
luck,
child, right?
None of that
only
from
child,
you.
Right?
The shade is real over here.
And girl, you want a wrestler.
Well, that still doesn't matter. The thing is like, if we're not on good terms, also I'm a Scorpio, so that could be the case too. We're not on good terms.
Her and Roger are Scorpios, I think too. So.
If we're not on good terms, I don't need it. It's like I don't need you to reach out to me to tell me good luck. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah. See,
well, damn.
I know. I don't feel. I feel like, say if we were talking about something, you have a big event that's coming on, and then something happened, I would still say, hey, like I know your event is happening today. Good luck on your event. And that's it. Like that's what I would say, because despite everything, I would want the best for you.
Yeah.
So,
I
but that's
totally
a Scorpio
get that.
side of you, and you know, again, only children are
shaded. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, it means a lot.
That don't mean
then you
nothing.
layer that with the Scorpio. Jesus help us. I don't even know.
Well,
just thank God.
I feel like we
thank
have
God I'm a mature individual and I could see past those flaws.
She the shadiest moments needs to come up now. Because the shade over here.
Roger's not here, so we have to
real.
pick out somebody else. I'm just saying.
I know I need Roger in my corner
the
right
buffer.
now. Where are you? Right. No, I just feel like it is. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she kind of made a big deal. Like she made a big deal by saying something.
Right.
I wouldn't have made a big deal out of it.
And also, too, in reports and other interviews that they've done together and separately, they say that, I think she said it in the show, too, that they talk every day.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she just expected, even despite the breakup, there would be at least a, hey, how are you doing? What's up, big head? Like, you know, that type of stuff.
I think it's because
Big head.
when she went to the house to go grab all her things, he left her a note, a card. So in her head, it was like, oh, okay, so he still cares about me.
Right.
I'm going to think he's probably going to say, hey, good luck tonight or have fun tonight during the Raw 25.
Yeah.
So, hey, John, you kind of messed up right there.
Well, I
No, you
mean,
didn't, John.
he also explained that he wanted to give her as much space as possible. So maybe he already had it in his mind that he's going to try to get back with her. But he's going to let her kind of sift through all this, and he already had a game plan. Maybe he's like, I really, you know, I've been saying for years in a TMZ interview after this whole thing, and it says that they're reported together, or they say they're together, that, you know, he's ready to have kids. So he said that as of this week. So maybe through losing her, which is what Rosa said in the interview today, it's like sometimes you have to kind of be without to realize that the person you had is really like, you know, there's no one else.
Right.
So maybe.
And I said that the first episode, like she has to, for some reason, she has to continue to break up with him
For him to realize.
to get him to actually move forward with her. So I mean, I think now he's actually at a point where maybe he's older, his career is, you know, is booming. He just wants somebody really by his side, and he really like loves her. So he wants to take it to the next level. But tip to John, like, stop making Nikki break up with you for you to come out of your comfort zone and do, you know, what a man is supposed to do, or give her what she wants. She's always the one sacrificing,
Right.
and we already talked about that. She's always the one sacrificing or wanting to make him. Even during this breakup, she was just like, I just feel so bad because I feel like he was all on the airwaves, and now I've made it like,
He's on Ryan Seacrest, etc. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just kind of
That,
like, girl,
that
bye.
Ryan Seacrest thing was
Which is
like,
so funny
I
because
was like, when was that?
Isn't he an executive producer too for the
E?
show? Yeah, E. He's
So that makes
all
it,
over
that,
E.
that's
Yeah, that's
why,
why.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I drew the connection.
Yeah. If you don't get it, then you don't get it.
Yeah, Ryan is.
They had to throw him in the mix
Well,
on the air with Ryan.
Well, I mean,
Because-
they probably didn't have to ask for permission for that either.
True.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, it's just a easy thing, and I believe he did do it. Anyways, well, he did do that interview. So with all that, do you think Nikki, Brie, as far as, do you think Brie's gonna get the house? Well, do they have the house?
she got the house.
They got the
Yeah,
house.
I think
Yeah.
they agreed on the house.
Because Brian was like, yeah, sure, I like it. But, you know, everyone knows how Brian is.
Right.
He's very,
frugal.
like, is it expensive? Is it in our budget? Blah, blah, blah. And Brie's like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
But now that they're back together, like, does she need the house now?
Well, I think
They're going to turn it into a gym. That's the purpose that she got an extra room. Because he said, can I have the in-law to turn into the gym? She's like, well, Nikki's going to stay. And he said, oh, okay. So I figure once Nikki moves out, they'll turn it into a gym. That
I thought they were
makes
talking about the whole
sense.
house. I thought they were leasing it for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said in there they were leasing
Well,
it
I
for a
think,
year.
yeah, live chat let us know, because I know they mentioned rent, then they mentioned buying, and then they
Yeah.
mentioned lease. So it could be a little.
So
everything.
now I'm wondering, how many houses do they really have now? Do they have the one in Arizona still?
Probably.
Do they have the one in Seattle? 2 of them in Seattle.
Well, is it 2 in Seattle?
Because
The cabin.
the cabin one, and then there was another. It could be the same one, but a different angle. He said it was like his parents' house this is the house where he grew up,
Oh.
and then
Well, how many family
San
members
Diego.
does he have?
he has sisters and. I don't know too much about Brian's
So
personal
because
life,
I know
just
they
his
have,
wrestling career.
I think they have, a legit 2, and then the San Diego one might be a bought one. I mean, a lease
lease.
one.
yeah.
Because I know that because the one in Washington is supposed to be the one in Washington, Seattle is supposed to be like their dream home.
Yeah.
And like the vacation dream home, and then the one in Arizona is where they live, which I don't even know why they're even
Moving so much.
wait. Because where? So JJ's in LA, right? Yeah.
No, they're in Arizona.
They're
They
in
all
Arizona.
live in Arizona.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought they
I
all
know
lived
why
in
he's
Arizona.
okay. No, okay. Why did he say he can? Well, anyways, we'll figure that out.
What?
Because I'm wondering. Yeah.
Okay, you can tell us after.
Yeah, I'll tell
Okay.
you. Because I'm wondering why they're in Arizona, but all the family's in Arizona, and now I remember because mom and everybody's in Arizona too. So.
Because like mom has her business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Does JJ still work for her?
Probably.
Or is he
Last
making
season-
his checks now on
what?
the show?
I mean,
Maybe.
but the show's not a lot of episodes. Like, I'm willing
Yeah,
that he
but
doesn't
you
get as
can
paid as
still-
much as his sisters.
But that's still a sustainable income, a check from a show.
And then Arizona is like, probably their houses are cheap, so
Well,
Yeah, the cost of living is way cheaper in Arizona.
well, JJ, you're probably watching this, so we probably won't ask you on air, but if you can answer that question, we will appreciate it. Also, that brings me to iTunes. So for iTunes, give us 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, just don't do anything at all. YouTube, we are reading all your comments. We appreciate all of that good stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe to AfterBuzz TV. Give us those comments for YouTube, and also follow us on social media, which we will give you all those tags at the end of the show because we still have some more show to go. So
Dang.
all of that good stuff. So essentially, the whole thing now is, let's get back to, Brie wants to take care of Nikki. So where do you think everything's gonna land as far as this? So say hypothetically, John and Nikki don't get back together, and I know they are, but say they didn't. How do you think Brie would have started setting Nikki up with like potentials or?
man, you should just go back dating with Dolph Ziggler.
No, I like that idea in was it Divas when
Yeah.
he was trying to convince Nikki to, like, you don't need John, he doesn't even want you, he doesn't even want the kids and all, he doesn't want
Yeah.
kids and all this stuff. I
That
like
would
that
be good.
idea, but then after the whole
I
Dolph
don't.
Ziggler and then trying to, like, and I understand why he would want to get out his contract, but just kind of like all the terms and conditions and his appearance on WWE, I just don't like him for her.
Well, that's not his
That
fault.
might be an act.
That's not his fault though.
What?
Like the way he acts on WWE. That's not
I
his
don't
fault.
like anybody but
It's because he's old?
No, he said it's not his fault
Why not?
because it's the writers who are creating all that for him.
I think he has enough clout where he could kind of
Do what he wants.
There's, the writers can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
So if you're naturally like a douche, then they're gonna play to that. Like, they're not gonna write something that's completely out of your character unless you are versatile enough to do that. So, like, to me, it seems like he's I wouldn't even say douche. It's just like he knows what he's about. He's a very confident individual,
Right.
and it doesn't seem like that pairing made sense.
it doesn't. Like, I really do like Nikki with John. I just feel like John is learning to pull it together, like piece by piece. It's like it's like crocheting with him. You gotta pull the yarn.
Yeah.
And like it's like you gotta pull the yarn through
You
the
should do
little
a
loop.
meme of your face. It's just like, I don't know. Whatever works for you.
Exactly.
But do you want to be in a relationship where it just seems like with that relationship, it's way more work than with Brian and Brie. It didn't, obviously every relationship is work, but they seem like,
just
they
fell
got
together.
it. They worked it out. And now here they are. And obviously there's little things that they've had along the way. Like when Brie wanted to take the pregnancy picture, he was upset about that. And like there's little things along the way, but the whole, like the path that they're both on, there are slight bumps, but they're still on that same pathway.
This is the thing. I feel like it depends on your personality too. Like Daniel Bryan is very chill and laid back. Like he's very like go with the flow type person. Brie is more of, she has a side of Brie mode. So their personalities are very different. When it comes to John and Nikki, they have like personalities. They're very two strong people. And they each like a certain way. And so I feel like sometimes that could be harder. This is what I understood this episode and what made me really be like, okay, maybe this isn't a stunt. Maybe this isn't stunt for camera. Is that I really understand that they love each other. Yeah. So once you've invested yourself in in a relationship for so many years, it's hard not to keep investing, or at least not to keep trying. So I think that's what is kind of happening at this point.
But it also seems like, they've been together 6 years, right? So say you start a relationship and like you meet this person and you're in love with the things about the person. So say it might be looks wise. So all that stuff, and you want to be that person. Then you find out that person's a good human being. However, they don't want two of the major things that you want. And instead of saying, Patty Stanger from Millionaire Matchmaker says your 5 negotiables. Like these things are never, like they're just, if you don't do that, then I'm just not about it. And instead of saying, no, I'm going to move on, you decide to work with it based off of all these things, that everybody else sees and all these other things that person has, but these 2 core things you really want. And then you invest 6 years into it. It's just like, you almost might as well just keep on going. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's just,
and I feel like she feels that way at this point. Like like he's getting older, she's not getting any younger.
Right.
She wants kids. So it's kind of like, how do I start dating anybody? Like, where do I go from here? Am I like, you have to take time, you have to like, at least with this, and seeing that he's inching along makes it even more like, okay, well, I will continue to invest.
But that's the thing that leads to the question that, like, was this really meant to be? And I understand that I believe that there's no, one individual. There might be for you, but in a different time, in a different space, if you grew up in a certain, there's all these factors that play into the.
So you don't believe that there's soulmates?
Based off of that,
I don't believe in soulmates. That's just silly.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say soulmates. So I would say based off of that, there are different circumstances. Like, is she truly? Because Brie has always said this is what you wanted. You wanted a kid. You've been talking about wedding. You've been talking about kid, and this guy never wanted that, right? So if she went with her core, it's like, okay, he doesn't want that. Therefore, I'm going to go somewhere else. She may have found somebody that would have better aligned with her. That would have still been, just kind of chilling like Bryan, but will still been a good go-getter and all this, and when it had some of an understanding of the wrestling. He might not have been a wrestler, but he might have some type of understanding of the wrestling background. So she might have actually been further along as she went with somebody else, but now that you've invested all this time, it's just kind of like, well, what the hell? Like, I feel like that sometimes with the career that I'm in. It's like, okay, some days I'm like, what the... And then it's like, I've invested all this time. It's like, why am I going to go and start from scratch doing something else that I may not even like?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but also at the same time, I definitely believe that I believe in soulmates. I do. And
do you believe in one, or do you believe that you can have a few?
I believe in. Okay, I want to say this.
Are we going to go Disney right now? Okay.
I believe that you do get one of that real love where it makes you high, that high love.
That's infatuation, though.
But not all the way through. If y'all been together for 6 years or years and you still have that love for that person, like, I feel like that's a soul connection. That's a soul mate. Now, if you go off and do what you said she should do, and she would be further along by finding somebody else who may not be in wrestling, maybe do this, do that. But she's the marriage. Settling, and she's not going to feel the same way about that person that she ever did about John. She's not. Like, I can tell you from experience, she's not. There's always going to be a place in her heart
from experience
when she looks at him, and she's going to be like,
who are you talking about?
He was.
Who are you talking about? Where's he at?
From experience. That's from
Where's
experience. I can't talk about.
I'm just okay.
Right
so
now.
Wait, have you lived anywhere else beyond America?
No.
Beyond America.
No, I haven't. But
because I mean, if you go to Europe, they love sisters there.
I believe. I mean, the same way when I go to Mexico, but that doesn't.
I know, but I mean, you go to visit, but going to live is two different things.
But soul connection, y'all have never had it.
I'm gonna send you to Europe. I'm gonna send you to Europe for 2 years. And then you come back and you tell me about your
soul connection.
What's it called?
Different.
Soul connection. You tell me about the soulmate. Javier from France.
Y'all get in the chat.
Why would you put a Mexican name in a
Javier could be? Oh yeah, you know. French
y'all
wash.
get in the chat and let me know. Do you believe in soulmates or not? Like, I believe there is a soul connection with someone. There has to be that one. That
comment below.
Demo. She said, "TK, really? Where he at?"
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying there might be a few more, and we'll never know. So Nikki always professes that she loves John beyond measure. Of course she will, because I mean,
there's a soul connection there, guys. There's a soul connection.
Of course she loves him, and I'm not doubting that.
Right.
However, you know, the love that she feels for him, she stopped there and she went somewhere else. She actually gave it some time to breathe and was like, look, he doesn't want this, he doesn't want these things I want, and meets somebody else, and then she has a stronger connection with that person.
Not gonna happen.
We will never know that.
But that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
It just wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Did you cry when they got engaged?
When who got engaged?
John and Nikki.
Why would I cry over somebody else's life? They ain't cutting my rent check.
You know who I teared up about? Oh boy. Jeez, she went from like emotional cutthroat in like 60 seconds.
Just saying.
No, because you're so invested in this relationship. A lot of
you'll be surprised. A lot of people are fans. There. No,
where you had to work like that.
There. I didn't have to work like that, but I understand when you love someone.
Is he in another relationship?
No, he's not.
So where's he at?
I can't talk about that right at this moment.
And why are you asking for wrestlers when you have a soulmate? What Naomi comes back in February, which she is, and she brings you a Uso cousin? What are you gonna do?
Because he is no longer around.
Has he passed away?
No.
Naomi, if you come back, please bring Finn Balor, because I know he's single.
The thing is I understand that her, like, Nikki being able to go and find somebody else would feel like settling for her. Is she really willing to get? That's what she said. She said, I want to have my kids with John. I don't want to have them with no one else. And that is the case. Like, you want to have your
when you're
kids
6 years deep. Yeah, of course you do.
Well, yeah,
no, because there's a soul connection there.
When you invest that time, yeah, of course you do.
There's a soul connection.
I mean, and again, for you guys who watch me on anything else that I talk about wrestling, I mean, you look at Naomi and her husband yesterday when she literally jumped in his arms in the ring. And I was tearing up because it's like when we even saw them here.
You teared up?
Yeah, I have emotions. I was even tearing up. I mean,
put that as a gift.
Like that. There's no tear, but I was getting like, I was getting the feels where it's just like, you want that type of connection where no matter what happens, but I don't see the easiness that they have or Brie has. Like, Nikki and John just don't seem to have that.
But that's because they put their whole life on camera. They're putting their whole relationship on camera.
So is a lot of wrestlers that are couples. They do it Monday and Tuesday night, every single night.
Yeah, but their relationship is that's a written line. Their relationship is not on camera like that.
No couple in the WWE that's legit is written. Look at Stephanie McMahon and Hunter. They've been doing it for freaking 20 years.
Yeah, but we don't really know what I mean, I'm sure they have a good relationship, but we don't know what
See, if they had to break up, I would legit cry.
I want to see. They should do a reality show about them. But anywho, let's move on to our special segment, some sipping tea. Do you guys have any sipping tea moments? I have one.
The total tea?
Yes, the total tea.
Well, one total tea is that the viewership went up this week, so that is exciting. I hope everybody got to see what we saw, which was, we understand now kind of what's going on.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I think the folks who watched episode 2 and everybody who wrote about it and also other stuff found out that they didn't break up right before the show started, which makes a huge difference. It's like, okay, I can see
now it
that.
makes all sense.
Yeah, now it makes sense. It doesn't seem like you were selling your love and your relationship just to gain viewers.
Right.
That was, like I said at the beginning of the show, that was definitely a PR thing because like I brought up before, when the Kardashians, when Kim K got robbed in Paris, everybody knew that happened, and when they came up with Keeping Up the Kardashians, we knew that's what we were going to see, but we still watched it because we already knew what happened. So they didn't keep it under wraps. It's like, oh, by the way, she got robbed back in October, but now we're talking about, they didn't do any of that. So now you can still, see the process, and we all, like I said, like to watch fires burn. So we were going to watch it anyway. Right. So wait. Is spilling the tea? That's a news segment, right?
The total tea.
The total tea. So do you have like our Shady Bellas? That was what it is. Shady Bellas moment. Do you have one? I have one.
Shadiest moment?
Yeah.
The shadiest Bella moment. I don't have mine yet.
Okay. Do you have one?
When Daniel Bryan was like, oh look, Nikki can go run up the stairs and go down the stairs, and then Brie, I
Bryan's
guess,
always
was
so
like,
shady.
what about at night? Like, what if she gets scared? And like, he kind of like made a joke about it. I love Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he's not. Their relationship is an interesting one. My shady moment is when Nikki says she doesn't care what John is doing. I think they asked like what John is up. He's like, I don't care. And I like that because she was trying to legitimately separate herself from the situation.
Yeah.
But now it also leads me to when John was doing I wonder if John was trying to get her back from February to when the show started. Because remember when he put out on his Instagram the guy with the radio on his head?
Yeah.
I'm wondering that now, or does he feel because of what whoever did the media and all this other stuff that now that it's public, he can now proclaim getting back together with her through the media.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to know that. Because then that makes a difference too. Do you feel like, okay, because of the show, it's gonna soften her up, and she's gonna see these moments, and it's gonna get her back? Because now I think they've said they're officially back together.
Show has given her a voice, which I really like. She talked about that too, which was the women empowerment. It's actually brought her back to being fearless. Like she said, I was fearless Nikki, but I've never been fearless Nicole. And I feel like there was a difference.
That I understand.
Yeah. So I feel like the show is actually now in her status of being more mainstream is now giving her more of a voice, which I totally like.
One thing though is you have to give Nikki a lot of credit is that she still wore the engagement ring even though that they broke up.
That's shady.
Would you not wear the engagement
You know what I
ring
mean?
still?
No.
Really? That girl is hella beautiful.
I would have put it to the side.
Why?
But
Because
there's a reason why is because nobody knew they broke up, so she still wore it, and then everyone's coming up to her. When is it happening? When's the thing coming up? When's the wedding? Blah blah blah. So that probably felt like a lot of made her feel uncomfortable. You can tell.
Mariah Carey didn't sell her wedding ring until recently, and she broke up with that dude almost a year ago. $2.1 million.
Well, she did just come out that she has bipolar disorder too, so.
Don't we all?
Dang, where's my cup?
I'm just saying. I don't see the point in continuing to hold keep your ring on. I didn't say I wouldn't keep it, but I'm saying to keep it on is totally different because I guess I'm just one of those people that I have to separate myself from it all to really figure it out.
I mean, if it's a rinky-dink diamond, it has a little P diamond, then yeah, whatever. But if it's that big, it's weighing your finger down,
no,
I'm gonna wear that mug. It's beautiful. It shines. If you hit it in the light, it might blind somebody. I want that. I'm gonna wear it. I might just put it on the other finger. It's not
whatever.
Not that serious. No.
I don't care what size the ring is, as long as I have a ring.
I was so gonna.
No. Don't, TK. Don't.
I love how I've been doing a lot of shows, and a lot of people now know me that I really don't even need to start or finish the sentence. I just do a head nod, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." So.
But we see that them getting in the ring, the Bella twins practicing in the ring.
And it's funny too with not funny. Brie, when she got her ring gear, she said she got it to cover her stomach, and I'm like, girl, there ain't nothing. You good
to cover.
There's nothing to cover.
I think it's because she's obviously when you have a baby, your body changes. You're not going to go back to what you look like.
Did you see Rose's body?
Girl, I wasn't here. Okay, I was jealous. I was like, darn.
Shout out to Rose. She had a baby. I think she just turned 1. Because 2017 to 20, she just turned 1.
Right.
Rosa was wearing a little top.
No, she looks good, but
kudos to her. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I'm not a fan.
I don't
of
know.
her.
Maybe Brie because.
Good thing you didn't come this afternoon.
I know.
I don't know. Just Brie just probably looks at her old body and was like, "Oh man, I'm not there yet, but I want to be there." So.
Well, we'll see. First, also shout out to all our soldiers in the live chat. I'm gonna butcher some names, so just sorry in advance. Joseph, always for all our live chats. Make sure I don't really see you on the Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, so I'm just saying, that make sure you watch that because you watch everything
Oh, because
else.
other shows are at the
I
same
know,
time.
but you should. I'm just messing with you. So shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Demo for being in the live chat. Also, I mean, she's just taking all our little shade moments and putting in the live chat, so that's kind of entertaining. Mercedes, shout out to you. I know the shade is real. I like when it's shady. It's just it is what it is. Kennedy Harris. So
Talk
shout out
smack to each other.
I know all the folks on the live chat. We definitely read all your comments, all of that good stuff. So any predictions for next week?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Next week is about the Rumble, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like some of it we've already seen because they did a WWE 24 on the Women's Revolution, so we were able to see what happened backstage when they were doing the Rumble. I don't have predictions because I feel like I already saw it.
And that's a good and bad thing about that. It's like
know what I mean?
the show's almost on the Kim K effect, and I'm sure. Excuse me, they didn't really plan it like that, but it's like we already know they got back together and all this other stuff. So it almost, I wish there would be a few things where we just didn't know
Don't
happened.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, that was. I mean, that's yeah.
I feel like there has to be something in the episodes that we don't know that they're still gonna put in there.
What are you gonna say, sir?
Maybe not next week. I would like to. I do want to see that because I didn't see it. So I would like
Gotta
to see
get the
that.
network now.
But I do want to see her kind of branch out. I want to see Nikki to just kind of branch out on her own a little bit.
I also want to see Brian and his thought process and actually coming back. I don't know if they're going to use that
Yeah.
for next season or whatever, but his
whatever.
his coming back to the ring, because that would be interesting because we saw his
That
breakdown.
would.
They're definitely gonna do a 24 on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because this season, I think we called it. This season's gonna be about Nikki and John and
Yeah.
their marriage or whatever, and next season's gonna be. It seems like they're kind of
Not deciding if-
switching off.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all kind of goes into play. Other than that,
Yes.
it is what it is. Again, Lola, I hope you're gonna feel better. Where can everybody find you guys?
Hey everybody, I'm Monique Loveless, and you can find me everywhere at Miss Mo Loveless. That's MSMOLOVELESS. Also, catch me tomorrow and every Thursday at 7 p.m. at Life Sentence here. And also, make sure you check out my website for all your styles, tips, and tricks, MoniqueLoveless.com.
Woohoo. I don't have all that, but you can follow me on social media at Anissa Barr.
I love the woohoo. Like I said, shout out to JJ. He is coming on the show, so we're gonna get them all up there. So if you have any questions for the fam, please let us know. Shoot us on our personal Instagram stuff, or even on the comments below for the show. Other than that, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can find me on TMZ Talking That Ish. Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. We have a lot of great guests. We had Rosa Mendez from Total Divas that was on today, and you can find me on Fit Club and a whole bunch of other stuff talking about stuff. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Ciao. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.